You know, I gotta say, when we do our Friday episodes, because there's always so much shit flying around on our Slack channel for Friday episodes
and our Discord. What up, Discord?
What up, Discord?
What up, patrons?
And I'm
What up,
always
Discord?
and I'm always and Jer puts it together. Jer puts all the content together, and and like the content kind of comes from all three of us and our homies on Discord. What up, Discord?
What up, Discord?
What's up, patrons?
And then I'm always like, I wonder what made it in.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what made it in, but before I do, got a big announcement. Yo, what's his mic at?
Was that too much?
Are you turned way the fuck up?
No, it's actually surprisingly at the same as ours.
Jesus Christ.
I've been working on my projection.
Okay.
You are projecting quite a bit.
Guys. Big announcement. Tickets for our Vancouver show are on sale right now. We are coming to the Biltmore Cabaret, one of our favorite places in Vancouver City. And we're going to be there on September 21st. Show starts at 9 o'clock. Doors are at 8. Tickets are $20. We cannot wait to see you there. If you're in Vancouver, if you're in Squamish, if you're in Tofino, if you're in Victoria, fucking get your asses over to Vancouver let's fucking go.
You know what I love about this venue is that they actually, do you know the historical story, the story of this venue,
the Biltmore Cabaret? No,
well, they
I don't.
actually they intended to only build a smaller venue, but then they built more.
Okay. Let's get on with the episode. Guys,
Get your tickets, though.
Despite
that, please buy the tickets.
Tickets are available. Tickets are available in the show notes, or go to the link in our Instagram.
And get them ASAP, because there's only so much room at the Biltmore.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Even though they did build more, there's only so much room. Guys, I've been on a kick for the last 3 weeks.
Hold on, guys. It's our first show in 2 years.
I know. I know. It's crazy.
It's our first live show in 2 years.
This is a big deal.
I'm nervous. Yeah. I'm a little bit nervous, guys.
We used to do that shit like every single month.
Yeah.
We did.
But maybe we don't have it anymore. So if you want to find out, come. If you want to see us potentially bomb, buy a ticket.
Well, not to be a shameless promoter, but since we have joined our CBC family. CBC. Show's a lot bigger. We don't really talk about that very much. And we get numbers. We get number reports and shit like that. And the show is much bigger than it was.
We're hitting about 16 million downloads a week.
It's about 16 million. And but no joke, show is a lot bigger. But we're going back to a venue that we played before and sold out. So please get your tickets.
Wait. I thought when you said the show is bigger, I thought you meant that like the theatrics of the show is bigger. And I was like, it is, since we've added those fireworks and the
since we brought Michael Bay on, things have been crazy.
It's been really remarkable.
Taylor, your voice is a lot bigger right now, and I would appreciate if you just fucking chilled out for a second.
I'm taking theater lessons.
All right, well, let's get into the episode. Guys, I've been on a kick for the last few weeks. I don't know if you've noticed, but goddamn, Conjoined Twins.
I thought you were going to go there first.
It just doesn't end. And actually, I was like, this week, I was like, no Conjoined Twins stuff. Let's give it a break until this fucking story came out this week.
What's with okay, is this, so Instagram and Facebook, they fucked up their algorithm shit over the last little while.
Oh yeah, I heard some stuff about that.
Yeah, they're reorganizing the way that they send you shit and the shit that they send you.
Sure.
And that's probably why I'm not going to say all the content that you've been sending me, but because it's just gonna that's between you and me.
I've been sending you some memes. Yeah,
he's been sending me some stuff, and that's probably because you've been served that stuff.
Yeah,
and I've been being served a lot of tennis content very randomly.
Very weird.
And so maybe.
To
Instagram
be fair,
and Facebook thinks that you are very, very, very into Conjoined
To be fair,
Twins.
this came from a listener.
Yeah,
actually.
A, I don't listen to, I don't use Facebook, and B, this came from a listener.
But you use Instagram, so you do use Facebook.
Yeah, I do.
Because they're the same.
So Conjoined Twins, this happened very recently. Conjoined Twins in Brazil separated with the help of VR. Okay. 3-year-olds Bernardo and Arthur Lima underwent surgeries in Rio de Janeiro.
Lima's in Peru, dude.
With direction from Great Ormond Street Hospital in London. The teams spent months trialing techniques using virtual reality projections of the twins based on CT and MRI scans.
Guys, the world's too weird now.
It's getting weird, dude.
It's getting super weird.
It was described by surgeon Noor ul Owais Jilani as, quote, space age shit. He said space age stuff, but I think shit's kind of cooler. Yeah. It was one of the most complex separation processes ever completed, according to the charity which funded it, Gemini Untwinned, which Mr. Jilani founded in 2018. He said that, for the first time, surgeons in separate countries wore headsets and operated in the same virtual reality room together.
That's insane. Also, that organization, Gemini Untwinned, that sounds like a super radical but also super niche organization.
Yes, very much so.
Super niche.
Now, I don't think I said it here, but where do you guys think, if you were to have a guess, where do you guys think these twins were conjoined at? If you already know it, don't
I
say
already
it.
know.
Right. Do you know?
I don't know, but I'm going to say the.
Let me step in.
Okay.
Not an easy separation.
Not what you think.
Start pointing to parts of your body, and I'll tell you if you're hot or cold.
What are their what's their sex?
3-year-old Bernardo and Arthur. They're boys.
It's not.
Well, they're conjoined at the dick.
No, it's not. It's actually you're cold. You're cold.
You're pretty cold.
They're conjoined at the pinky toe.
No, very cold.
Dude,
you're the cold.
dude,
you're Antarctica.
They're conjoined.
They're conjoined at a very
They're
difficult.
conjoined at the neck.
No,
Nope.
But not the
warmer.
head.
Warmer.
Well, how about
Conjoined
this?
at the head then.
Yep,
Well,
I'll show you a picture
obviously.
right here.
Okay, well, they mean
Here is where they were conjoined.
Whoa,
They're
dude.
noggins, dude.
Yeah, the tops of their fucking heads.
Dude, that is crazy.
So if you want to see this photo, you can go to our YouTube every Friday, Sick Boy on YouTube. So the twins had 7 surgeries involving more than 27 hours of operating time in the final operation alone and almost 100 medical staff.
Wow.
Speaking about the VR
Honestly,
aspect,
guys, that sounds like too many cooks in the kitchen.
I mean, can you imagine 100 people just bumping into each other while you're trying to separate these two twins' heads?
How do you coordinate 100 people in
I don't
like
know.
coming and going from that room?
But it's all in VR, so it's like,
Right,
you know.
right. It's like, have you been in the meta in like Facebook's metaverse where it's just like your avatars are just these like chunky cartoony
How much time do you
characters?
think the surgeons spent in the VR room on the operating table, just looking at each other, going, "Hey guys, look at this. Hey
Guys, do you
this is
think?
kind of
Look at me,
cool.
look at me.
Isn't it cool? Look at me.
Do you guys think?
Look at my avatar.
Look what I'm doing. Yeah.
Do you guys think Zuck was there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was like, oh, he was like, yo, can I just join?
It was a PR thing.
We can toss it
yeah.
in an advertisement.
Speaking about the VR aspect of the surgery, Mr. Jelani told the PA news agency, "It's just wonderful. It's really great to see the anatomy and do the surgery before you actually put the children at any risk." So all the VR stuff was happening as like a test run, a trial.
Yeah, I imagine that they're in VR and they have a model of the two guys. I mean, one person, like, and they're just standing there, and then they scale it up to the point that they can actually like get inside and like
They magic
actually
school bus it.
explore. Yeah, right.
yeah.
That would be super helpful, actually.
If you could
it'd be very
magic school
fun.
bus,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
You can imagine how reassuring that is for the surgeons. In some ways, these operations are considered the hardest of our time, and to do it in virtual reality was just really man on Mars stuff, he said. He said that previously unsuccessful attempts to separate the boys meant their anatomy was complicated by scar tissue.
Wow.
And he was really apprehensive about the risky procedure. Mr. Jelani said he was absolutely shattered after the 27-hour operation, where he took only 15-minute breaks for food and water. But it was wonderful to see the family feeling over the moon afterwards. Dude, this guy is on something.
Amphetamines.
Like, yeah, he's got to be on, like, just the amount of fucking cocaine that he's just like, let's go, let's keep going. You know,
No, dude.
27
Dude,
hours.
he's on some prescription stuff.
I'm curious what he was eating during his food break. Imagine that 15 minutes, like the 15 minutes between like the most intense 27-hour
Sugar
surgery
sticks.
you've ever done. And you're like, you just pop up for like a 15-minute break. Do you think
Yeah.
it was a smoke break?
Could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I mean-
Could be,
Fuck,
yeah.
doctors smoke.
And in Brazil, they just smoke right there at the operating table.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. It's Wild West down there.
He added that, as with all conjoined twins after separation, the boys' blood pressures and heart rates were through the roof until they were reunited 4 days later and touched hands.
Whoa.
That's amazing.
Is there any other photos of them?
There are, but I don't have any prepped. The twins are recovering well in hospital and will be supported with 6 months of rehabilitation. This was Mr. Jelani's 6th preparation or separation procedure with Gemini Untwinned after previously operating on twins from Pakistan, Sudan, Israel, and Turkey. He led the procedure alongside Dr. Gabriel Mufarej, head of the pediatric surgery.
Hey, that was a pretty good little Portuguese, little
Pronunciation, like,
twinge you put on there.
Spent about a month and a half in Brazil,
So did I, but I wouldn't have done that.
Quote, since the parents of the boys came from their home in the Roraima region of Rio to seek our help 2.5 years ago,
You got
they
to
have
roll
become
those R's a little bit more.
Rio.
Aren't ours H's in
Rio.
in Brazil?
I don't know, dude. I don't speak
In
Portuguese.
I watch enough UFC that I should know this.
Like Hodger.
The family has become a part of our family here in the hospital, and we are delighted that the surgery went so well. So, according to the charity, 1 in 60,000 births result in conjoined twins, and only 5% of those are craniopagus, which I think is
Guys,
conjoined
this
at the head.
is insane. Look at this fucking photo.
Of the boys, yeah, that's the one that's a wild photo, yeah. So,
Are they
so if you want to
together,
Google it, folks, just look up conjoined twins successfully separated, and it'll probably be one of the first things that come up. And it is what's wild about these kids is that they're conjoined at the top of the skull. One of them is looking up to the sky, the other one's looking down to the ground, and I believe they could read each other's thoughts.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Whoa, how did they separate the brain then?
VR.
That's they just live in VR.
They
That is
video
wild.
game the
They're
shit
just
out of
in VR.
Imagine
yeah.
the conversation they're having. It's like, what does it look like up there?
Yeah, what does it
And
look
then
like down
what does
there?
it look
Dude,
like down
that
there?
is that's got to be
One of the wildest things.
that's
I've
got to
ever-
be one of the most inconvenient places to be conjoined.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
How do you think they, like, when they were together, did they do like a crab walk?
You know what the most inconvenient? I don't think that this happens in conjoined twins, but if it does,
Wow.
it would be way more inconvenient than that. But like a human centipede connection, like mouth to ass.
That would
But
be
it wouldn't happen.
that would be
It wouldn't happen
drastically
like that.
inconvenient.
Could it not?
Why not?
I don't think so because you grow like side by side like this. So you separate like this. You would never end up separating with your head all of a sudden attached.
Yeah,
to
but
your,
what if
What
the-
if you
what if the-
separated and then morph?
But what if the
No,
mouth of
I
the
don't-
what if
I
the
don't think
mo- what if the mouth of the egg ends up near the ass of the egg?
No, it doesn't because it's one egg and it just separates.
Into two, but then what
Yeah.
if the ass then to ass to mouth?
I don't think it can work like that.
Yeah.
Dude,
I could see toes to toes, yeah, and you'd be like totally separated away
Yeah,
from
right.
each other. But
crazy.
I don't think it works like that.
Man, that shit is
Wild,
wild.
right? Yeah. Here's another wild story. Researchers revive organs in dead pigs, raising questions about life and death.
This makes me question. My first question is why.
Probably.
let's-
So I think that I'm
Let's find out.
speculating, and Jared's going to tell us. But my speculation is that similar to the pig organ stories that we've heard in the past, we are at a massive shortage of organs for transplant patients, and we're trying to find
Yeah.
a solution to that problem.
So I think it would be great for research purposes. But imagine that somebody came to you and said, "Hey, listen, we're all out of organs, but we're going to use a dead pig's heart that we actually were able to revive. So
Right.
therefore, you're getting a dead pig heart.
But if the alternative is you're dead in a month, and there's no organ coming for you,
I mean, yeah, in that
Well,
case, you're not giving me very many options.
I'm gonna
sometimes there aren't.
I'm going to give you another option, but it's in the next story that we're going to cover, and I'll save it.
Oh wow.
Okay.
A little bit of a
Great.
teaser. So scientists have rebooted vital organs of dead pigs in an experiment bioethicists say may force a rethink of how the body dies, and that further blurs the boundary between life and death.
This is the living dead shit. Like
This is
like,
yes, dude. We're
Yeah,
getting
you
into
can
some
be-
we're getting into some weird stuff about like what does death actually mean?
yo.
So what happens? The pig dies. The pig's been dead for a period of time, and then they.
Well, let me get to it,
No, no,
and we'll find
no,
out.
no,
How about
no,
that?
No. Before you do that, I just want to say to anybody out there who has recently lost a loved one, here's a little bit of hope. Okay, if that body is
That's
buried
mean.
in the
That's
ground
mean,
and, it's,
Brian.
and it's close, and you didn't cremate it, then
We
there
might be
is-
able to bring it back. If we do bring it back,
potential-
it's going to want to eat your brains,
After
and you're going to have
this,
to pull a bullet in their head. but
Cremation
yes.
rates are going to plummet.
I think they should. Honestly, I
You-
don't want to be cremated now. You?
Using a system
We'll
dubbed
see.
Organ X, that uses special pumps and solutions to restore oxygen and prevent cell death throughout the body. The Yale University team restored blood circulation and other cellular functions in multiple porcine organs an hour after the pig's death from cardiac arrest.
Oh, there goes the hope that
an hour after.
So they saw electrical activity in the heart, for instance. It started to pump again. The study reveals the underappreciated capacity for cellular recovery after prolonged whole body warm ischemia, loss of blood circulation and thus oxygen, ischemia, in a large mammal. The team reports in the journal Nature. The experiments also bolster findings from another Yale-led project 3 years ago that involved disembodied pigs' brains. Using a similar perfusion system called Brain X, researchers restored circulation and cellular activity in brains taken from pigs 4 hours after they were killed in a meatpacking plant.
Honestly, this reminds me of this this story of. Did I tell you guys about how on my 30th birthday, when I was about to turn 30, I was driving to Quebec City, and so as I was driving, it was about to strike midnight, and I was about to turn 30 technically by date. And so I drove up to the Quebec border, and of course there's an hour time change there.
Mm-hmm.
Before crossing the border, I turned 30 in New Brunswick. I stopped at the Boston Pizza in Edmonton.
Oh, nice.
Had a beer and a pizza.
That's nice.
To celebrate my 30th birthday. Then I drove across the border, and I was 29 again for like another 45 minutes.
Another Boston Pizza.
Right?
Yeah.
And so because it was so close in time,
yeah.
I was actually able to revive my 29th year and go back and relive those last few moments of my life.
Yeah.
This is sort of that, right?
This is sort of that.
That's
And-
exactly, yeah.
And the funny thing is about this whole thing at Yale was they were doing all this out on the campus's Boston Pizza in the Boston Pizza restaurant on campus.
Cool.
So
That's really awesome.
So all the stuff that they did were with isolated organs, or that was the isolated organ with the pig brain. But the team was wondering, could they apply this similar approach on a whole body scale? So together, the research challenges old thinking that the body's cells and organs begin to irreversibly become destroyed within minutes of the heart stopping, but instead, cellular demise can be halted and their state can be shifted towards recovery at molecular and cellular levels.
they were close enough to the Quebec border that they could actually bring them back.
Wow.
So
we should definitely let this metaphor die on this episode.
Yeah, this. So I think the big thing here is like if this is the case, so it does kind of tie into like organ donation, where it's like, someone dies and there's this rush to be like, okay, they're dead, we got to get the organs out so that we can like get them into the person right away. But perhaps there's a way for us to like, have bodies, like have body farms.
So are they-
and then be like, we've got
Like
lots
keep them alive.
We've got keep the organs alive.
Yeah,
It's like they're
right.
dead. They're not
Yeah.
going to come back. But like we've got these organs hooked up to machines that are like
They're still
pumping
running.
cells through.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
running. They're still like they're still active.
So are they saying here that they are I'm wondering if they're doing one of two things. Are they saying, oh, organs can actually last quite a bit longer than we thought before they are dead? Or are they saying we have found a way, if we get to it in time, to keep it alive?
They're saying two things here. The work has the potential to help reduce the amount of damage that is done to people's brains after, say, a stroke or maybe even after a heart attack. But the greatest benefit here might come in expanding the supply of donor organs for transplant.
Right.
Right. So, but again, that's where things get a little bit like ethically hairy with that whole thing.
So you're saying that if they can keep them functioning alive, like as if they were in a living body, then they can use them longer for transplant. But if somebody just dies and those organs aren't hooked up to a beating heart and the living
they're
body,
not getting the cells, they're not getting
their
the
cells start to
oxygen.
deteriorate and the quality of the organ
Just goes down like rapidly, right?
Right.
So
I'm missing the ethical connection.
well,
I mean,
so,
would you
so
want
they'll
a
get
dead-
in? They'll get into
Yeah.
this, but I think basically the ethical part is like, okay, we're keeping, because again,
Right,
this is
yeah.
coming down to the notion of like, what is death,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So you die, and we go, okay, Taylor's dead, he's never gonna come back, but
we're gonna keep his body hooked up.
his
to this
whole
machine.
body is like still alive. But like we'll never be able to bring his soul back. Like,
yeah, we're keeping his organs alive just
Yeah.
to use them for somebody else.
But they do that already.
yeah, but no, they don't do that already. Not like that.
Not
so
like this.
So how's it done now?
What do you mean? How's it done now?
I mean, fuck, someone dies, and you know, someone has a brain aneurysm or something and dies suddenly on the spot, and their heart is perfectly okay, and they might be on the donor list.
Yeah, they have
donate.
like hours to get that heart out and put it where it should go.
Right. So they're saying
Like they're not going. This thing is going to exist.
So in this thing, they're saying what we want to do is like take that body, and instead of like ripping that heart out and getting it to somebody, we're gonna like hook the body up to a machine that's gonna keep everything sort of alive except for them as a person.
Yeah.
Or even
And-
just
Or even
yeah.
just the organs like alone. But so they go on to say donor organs can be retrieved from people who are declared brain stem dead. They're medically and legally dead, but their hearts are still beating. But seatbelt and helmet laws and advances in treating brain injuries mean fewer people are dying from brain death.
What a crazy problem.
A trend now is
Hey,
to
dude,
harvest.
fuck you and your helmet thing too, because that just comes right. That's evidence right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. A trend now is to harvest organs from donation after circulatory death. Donors. So typically, people on life support with such a bleak prognosis, the decision to remove life support is made. Once the heart stops beating, the doctors wait the obligatory 5 minutes before declaring death. The donor organs are retrieved, but surgeons must move quickly. The organs deteriorate once starved of blood supply and oxygen.
Dude,
So they're like, you're dead. 5 minutes, okay, and get them going. Get it out.
That's crazy. I didn't know about the 5 minute thing. So like they wait 5 minutes to be like that. Okay, officially dead.
Yeah.
But how many times do you think? Because obviously that 5 minutes is there for a reason.
Well, we've heard stories.
Must be moments where like 4 minutes and 30 seconds, the guy's like,
Yeah, I mean, we've heard stories of those people in body bags going, "What the fuck? Get me out of here!" And they're like,
Right?
the coroner's like, "Oh, whoopsie daisy."
Yeah, but not for people who are on life support.
no, that's true.
no. It's not like unless you pray a lot, then
so-
maybe there's
Yes.
possibility.
So Organ X has the potential to give doctors more time to retrieve the organs after life support has been switched off.
Right.
But that approach would also require, quote, obligatory clamping of the main arteries supplying blood to the brain to prevent any blood reaching the brain of the deceased organ donor. The
Whoa.
Yale team notes.
So it's basically like the surgeons, if they're having lunch, they can finish lunch before they need to go into
or a
the
smoke
organs.
break or whatever.
Yeah, it's like they can finish their smoke or they can finish their sandwich.
So wait, are they clamping off the blood to the brain to like make sure that this person is definitely not coming back to life, but
Yeah.
the organs are living?
Yes, yeah.
That's fucking.
That's where it gets
crazy,
a little hairy. In
And
both,
so it's like, yo, this person's dead. Just let's make sure, clamp it off.
Because then it's
It's like a
kind of like they're
vasectomy.
but we'll
kind of
keep
like-
those organs going.
because then it's
Right.
kind of like they're killing them. Whereas if you take life support off, it's kind of like they would be dead without the life support. You're kind of just like turning off the machine
it's
that's
sort of
keeping
like
them alive.
You're
Well,
only killing
here's-
their brain.
Here,
You're-
ready for something that's gonna fuck your shit up right now.
Right.
In both the Brain X and Organ X experiments, the researchers who did continuous EEG monitoring, so electroencephalography, of the animals' brains, they found cellular activity in some areas of the brain had been restored.
Oh fuck.
At no point did they see any kind of electrical activity that would indicate consciousness or awareness, but they still saw some activity re-spike back up in the brain.
That's like kind of like the nervous system sort of idea of like death, right? Like you die. And
I
then,
don't
like,
know.
You see like
I,
twitching
you know what?
and shit.
I went to theater school and I dropped out, so I'm gonna say don't know.
I actually don't know either.
Don't know.
I feel like we're close to grasping this concept.
Oh,
but
oh
we're
my God!
just,
Wait,
like,
but
not
Brian.
quite there.
However, they did see spontaneous movements of muscles in the head, neck, and torso in the anesthetized pigs treatment with Organ X. So I think maybe it is just
it's
like
exactly what I was saying.
Yeah. The EEG patterns were flat immediately before and after the movements, but the movements indicate some preservation of motor functions, the researchers said. The Organ X system works much like the heart-lung bypass machine. The perfusion device is connected to the pig's circulatory system. A synthetic fluid that contains Hemopure, a blood-like product that other chemicals that promote cellular health, decrease cell death, and suppress inflammation is pumped through the animal's body. The researchers induced cardiac arrest and then treated the pigs with Organ X system an hour after death. The animals were compared to a group of pigs on ECMO, which is extracorporeal corporeal membrane oxygenation. Actually, Kira is always talking about ECMO.
Oh, really?
She just works on patients with ECMO all the time. A machine that pumps the pig's own oxygenated blood through the body. So it's just like pumping your blood through because your heart isn't going to be doing it by itself. After 6 hours of treatment, the scientists saw decreased cell death and restored activity in the heart, liver, kidneys, and pancreas in the Organ X group. Unlike ECMO pigs, the hearts could still contract. It doesn't mean that the organs were functionally normal, said first author David Andrivek, an associate research scientist in neuroscience at Yale School of Medicine. The next step is that we're hoping to see complete tissue and organ recovery, and of course, eventually, to transplant these organs.
Crazy.
So, okay,
It's
guys.
wild shit,
I
man.
mean, really, the question is so for either yourself or your loved ones, if this was a potential, if you could potentially do this and save organs in your body and donate them to somebody in need, would you go ahead with this?
Sorry,
I mean,
like,
dude, if I'm that
human organs?
no, like
No, no, no,
enjoy
so
your organs.
If you could be like in this situation,
You're
like
the
pig,
donor in
you're
this
like the pig.
situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see much of a difference. I mean, I can see the like, oh, we need to think about this for a second, but like, and maybe more than a second. But I don't really see a much of a difference between like organ donation as it is now. Which if I die now, my organs will get donated.
I mean, dude, if I'm that dead, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Even if they were like, yeah, but you know what? There could have been like, we could have brought your brain back maybe if we didn't clamp it off. It's like, no, dude, I died.
Yeah.
Don't bother. Like, just
Yeah.
I'm dead.
No need for season 10.
And if you want to hook me up, if
wait.
you want to hook me up on fucking like in rafters and like and you like strap me
Yeah.
to a giant like space style
all
building
the main characters have left.
with a
Wait,
with a bunch of
know.
other bodies strapped to it, and we're all pumped. It looks like a scene from The
clarify-
Matrix, and there's a bunch of pumps going into my body.
We don't need
like,
season 30 of Grey's Anatomy.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, we do actually. But the question is so that your organs can be preserved,
Yeah.
not for you to stay alive, but to
No.
be donated to somebody
Yeah,
else. You'd be
yeah,
cool with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
preserve
of
it,
course.
yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I
Yeah.
feel the same way. I could understand how there could be some people who feel weird about it, but it should be an opt-out thing,
Yeah.
right?
Dude, I'm sure we talked about this in the past because this happened while we've been doing the show. But Nova Scotia, and
Yeah.
for anybody who's not from Nova Scotia,
We did like a
'cause
whole
'cause
episode.
We
I
did a
think-
whole episode.
I think
on
we
it.
might be the only I'm not sure, but as far as I know, I haven't heard
In
any
Canada,
other news.
maybe.
We might be the only province in Canada that hasn't. It's an opt out for organ donation. So you are automatically in on organ donation, which is, my opinion, definitely how it should be because people are fucking dying.
Totally.
And
Yeah,
they
we
need organs.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
definitely, again, everybody's entitled to their own choice, and if you want to opt out of it, that's fine.
Of course, but the default should be that if you
default should be
choose
opt
not to opt
Oh,
out
sorry, yeah,
because
default should be
because
opt out.
there's such a need for that, and also, I mean, it makes, to me,
Yeah.
personal opinion, it makes a lot of sense. To
If
do
I
it.
yeah.
Personal opinion that you want to force on everybody else.
Yeah, with the opportunity for them to opt out, of course.
Right.
What about this question? If you were going to let's use a set of lungs for example. You know that your lungs are going to shut off, and so you need a lung transplant. And we have the technology at a point where we can transplant any animal's lungs into you, and they will work. And there's like a
Wolf.
wolf lungs.
Yep, they have the highest VO2 max of any mammal.
Dolphin.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that one.
For reference,
I was going to say gorilla. I want some
no,
gorilla. lungs.
I don't think you do. I think you want wolf lungs.
No, I don't. I want gorilla lungs.
I think the highest ever measured VO2 max in a human is 98, and that's a measurement of milliliters of blood per kilogram. This is 98, and that's like crazy. Like the average person's like 40 something or 50 maybe. And
I'm like 70.
wolf lungs are like 240 or something, like crazy. It's like,
What do you think dolphins are?
they're like 4 times better than your lungs.
What is the VO2 max of dolphins?
I found this on the web.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and
It's,
you're not going to read it to me?
It's actually
fuck?
it's 140.
Oh, that's high.
Yeah.
Significantly higher.
I can't find the VO2 max of a gorilla.
I'm sure they've
I
tested it.
found this on guys. Siri is way worse than Alexa.
Way worse,
honestly.
way worse, dude.
Alexa knows what they're doing.
Dude, Google knows. Google's great. I mean,
Lance
Alexa's,
Armstrong's VO2 max. Do you know that, Taylor? I feel like you do.
I would say it's either 89 or 93.
It's 84.
84.
Oscar Svensson, Norwegian cyclist, has the highest,
98.
97.5. Round up. You're right. That's interesting.
You know what? And not indicative of him being. Is he a cyclist?
He is, yes.
Not. I've heard of this guy. Not indicative of being a top level cyclist.
Why not? You think
Has to do with the way that
Dude.
it's just it's like it's a metric for like how much oxygen you can transport to your through your blood, but it doesn't necessarily translate into like top optimal performance for some reason.
The highest VO2 max in the animal kingdom, pygmy mouse. I'll take one.
Oh,
of them.
really?
I'll take their lungs.
Oh, really? What is it? Does it say?
Looks to here about 275.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think a wolf is like 220 or 240 or
So
something.
I'd
like
take
that.
that.
Alaskan Husky actually can be anywhere from 200 to 300, but on
wow.
this, I see the same
Alaskan
stats,
Husky.
Jared. On average, the pygmy mouse is higher. Still.
Yeah. So
See,
I'll take a set of pygmy mouse
Dude,
lungs.
and not
A
to
chipmunk is also very close.
not
to
to get super derailed here, but when people are like a VO2 max, basically what a VO2 max does is like is
Oh, for
it
fuck's
it allows
sakes.
you it's
Here we
it's
go.
like it's the maximum, it's the highest it's like a high intensity that you can, it's not chill, it's not hard, it's like really hard.
And what's a Peloton, Tay? Let's go, dude. Let's fucking go.
No, I was gonna say, what when people go, oh, these you're torturing these animals that are carrying this like sled, because people make that
sled
argument.
dogs,
Sled
yeah.
dogs, yeah.
Dude, those dogs can do an extraordinary amount of work that your body can't even fucking comprehend.
Yeah,
can't
but
even
it's
begin to comprehend.
it's not that part. It's the yelling mush and whipping them with a whip.
I don't think they whip them with.
No,
one.
I've seen it in a
actually,
movie. I've seen it in a movie. They do.
I went and did it in March, and
You
whip
whip them, right?
no whipping?
Like a cat of nine tails too.
They love doing it.
They love getting whipped.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, they love running.
So
They're
do I. Let's move on. Do you guys? How do you guys feel about sunscreen?
Pretty pro sunscreen, but I
Shut the fuck up!
Don't
Don't ruin
really-
this. Don't ruin this.
don't really
Just
wear
yes
it
or
too
no.
much.
Yeah, I
Yeah?
feel
Yeah?
guilty about the amount, the lack of sunscreen that I put on
Yeah.
my body.
Yeah, yeah.
I
want to wear it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
In
I
fact,
realize that I'm not.
You know what I need? I need that spray-on sunscreen because it's easier to apply, and so it would be much
Yeah,
easier if I
that's
just
not-
had that and could
no,
spray it all
Jared's
over my
about to tell you
entire
that's
body.
that's not the one you want.
No,
Well,
it
that is my favorite one too. I'm about to read a story that that I feel like our friends over at Melanoma Canada, where we spoke at a couple of years ago, they're going to be pissed that I'm reading about this. But Banana Boat sunscreen, the best smelling sunscreen on the
It
market,
does smell really good.
recalled for chemical cancer risk.
Just, wait. General, just like your average banana boat sunscreen, or
Yeah, I mean some specific ones, but like a lot of them.
fuck.
Popular sunscreen brand has voluntarily recalled several of its products. The nationwide recall comes after unexpected trace levels of benzene, a known carcinogen, were found following an internal review. Edgewell Personal Care Company announced it had issued a voluntary recall of 3 batches of one type of its popular Banana Boat sunscreen. Quote, "We know that you love our products." I do. I really do. It smells so fucking
it
good.
does, yeah.
And we're conducting this recall out of an abundance of caution, the statement posted to the company's website read. Here's what you need to know. According to the voluntary recall notice shared by the U.S. Drug and Food Administration, a recall was issued for 3 batches of Banana Boat hair and scalp sunscreen spray SPF 30 after trace amounts of benzene were found in the product after an internal review. This product was packaged in aerosol cans. Fuck. None of the
Shit.
company's sunscreen lotions were affected. It's important to note that benzene was not an ingredient in the sunscreen. Instead, trace amounts were due to the propellant that distributes product in the packaging, the press release explains. The recalled products were distributed across the United States, the retailers and online stores. Quote, Edgewell has notified its retailers to remove any remaining recalled products from the shelves.
So this sounds to me like not a big deal because
No, dude.
I mean,
put sunscreen on to prevent yourself from getting melanoma, right? So you spray it on, but you're really just spraying on a little bit of cancer too at the same time.
you know what?
Yeah.
So really, it kind of balances out.
Here's another reason why this is no big deal. I just read the headline of an article today. Didn't put it in the show notes yet, but it is saying that rain is rain all around the world. Global rain
It's
is
cancerous.
just covered in forever chemicals, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, I mean,
We
that-
are just
that makes
being
sense.
rained with cancer. It's cancer rain. Acid. You think acid rain's bad? Try
Yeah, but we
normal
made it.
cancer.
But we
rain.
made the shit.
Oh, we
that's-
made it.
We
We
made
made
the
it.
shit that's in the rain.
It's just
Wait,
cancer rain.
Wait, so if I stick my tongue up in the air and I go,
Do you do that?
Yeah, I'm drinking cancer.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Dude,
Yo.
when it rains, don't go outside.
Guys, so we had this conversation when we were talking about microplastics, I think. Was
Yeah,
it
yeah.
microplastic? Is that
Yeah.
what it was? Was he chewing on that? When we were talking about microplastics, like Kyla is like really, really on the whole like, all the shit, like the shit that's in this deodorant, the shit that's in this toothpaste, is like she's just like, there's shit in this that no one should be having on their fucking body. They're horrible ingredients.
Dude, my
And-
respect just went up for Kyla so much because the fact that she's like that but doesn't say that to you and push that shit on you is remarkable. Because
Well, it's
those are the
because
types
she-
of people who are like
Yeah.
the microplastics.
Yeah, but
No,
she
she says it to me.
Yeah, but she would know how what's hypocritical it would be because she's like constantly shoveling cocaine up her nose.
Oh my god, dude,
Wait,
she's gonna
should
hate.
we not talk about
She's
that?
gonna fucking hate that you said that.
I'm joking,
She's
Kyle.
gonna hate
My
that you said that.
goodness.
No, but she's
Poor
really
girl,
she's
girl doesn't even
Can't
like
believe
eating
you didn't
edibles.
Cut that out, Taylor.
she's really amazing. She's really amazing about that stuff. Like she goes really fucking deep on that stuff. And
Especially, I mean, as a
sunscreen,
mom, like
man,
you
she is
definitely want to be doing that now.
Kyla, I
sunscreen,
love you.
dude.
That's great.
She has spent so much time getting the right sunscreen because there are.
But
and
how do you know?
I
Like,
wrote her.
what do you do?
No,
How do you
because
know? How do you know?
There
like,
are
what's
two
good?
ingredients. I'm waiting for her to write me back. There are two ingredients that are in sunscreens, and one of them might be benzene. There's two ingredients that are in almost every sunscreen, and it's a substance that's banned in like every country on fucking earth except for Canada and the U.S. Like every country on earth bans these two products because they're like, cancer, 100% fucking cancer.
What if we just started using Crisco?
So like we always have like really obscure sunscreen brands because like
Does she order it? Like
yeah,
on Amazon?
she orders them from wherever she orders them from. Like they're
Yeah.
very specific. Like dude, she'll go off on you on sunscreen
Do you guys
and
remember
deodorants and toothpaste and all that shit. Like anything that you fucking put on your body.
Yeah.
Like dude, dude, those like companies that are making like skincare products and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, they are fucking your shit up.
You
Yeah.
use crystals for deodorant?
I put it out in the moon, and then once it's been in the moon, then I used it.
Do you guys ever use that purple sunscreen that like you put on and it made you purple?
I'm sure I'll be back.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
Oxybenzone.
That sounds like it gets you really high.
Oh,
Oxybenzone.
she just sent me a website instead of sending me an actual answer.
Well, it says a lot of countries in the world have straight up banned sunscreen.
Oh yeah, big
Dude,
time.
because
Like, big
so
time.
many of them are absolutely horrible.
But you should honestly wear. you should wear-
You
Oxybenzone,
should be wearing sunscreen though, guys.
homosalate, and octocrylene.
These all sound like bad guys from Dune. Hey, let's get back into organ transplants. Okay.
Okay, cool.
And this is probably a bit of a hot topic. Killing prisoners for transplants. Forced organ harvesting in China.
Holy
Okay.
fuck.
I think
You
I
guys
know
ready to go down
immediately-
this road?
I know
Did
immediately
we
where
just
I
become
stand on
last podcast on the left?
I mean, pretty much. Organ transplantation is a life-saving therapy for millions of patients and one of the greatest successes of modern medicine. However, a limited supply of donor organs paired with a massive demand for transplants has fueled the global organ trafficking industry, which exploits poor, underprivileged, and persecuted members of society as a source of organs to be purchased by wealthy transplant tourists.
Wow.
This is
Transplant
like
tourists.
this.
Ryan, are you crying?
This is the darkest thing.
Oh,
I've
this
ever
is dark,
heard.
and this gets in this sort of reminds me of that fucking dark hole I went down of looking at like what happens when we donate our body to science in
right.
quotations.
Yeah, right.
Although this practice occurs in many countries, the situation in China is particularly concerning. China is the only country in the world to have an industrial scale organ trafficking practice that harvests organs from executed prisoners of conscience. Conscience. Conscience?
What does that
Conscience. I don't know. Prisoners of conscience.
You continue. I'll look it up.
This practice is known as forced organ harvesting. To understand forced organ harvesting, it is useful to consider a hypothetical scenario. A patient in Canada with end-stage heart disease is in need of a life-saving cardiac transplant. Doctors in Canada tell the patient he needs to go on a waiting list until a compatible donor dies under suitable conditions. This process can take weeks, months, or even years. The patient then finds a transplant program in China that can schedule a cardiac transplant from a compatible donor weeks in advance.
Wow.
This raises several important questions. Cardiac transplant can only come from deceased donors. So how can the hospital match this patient with a potential deceased donor weeks in advance?
Right.
How did the hospital find this donor? How do they know when that donor will die? And how the donor consented to have their organs harvested?
Not to be an extra bummer on this whole thing, but and not that it's okay to harvest, somebody who's in prison because because they did a bad thing. Not that it's okay to harvest their organs, but prisoners of conscience is anyone in prison because of their race, sexual orientation, religion, or political views.
Whoa. That's
Extra bummer.
extra bummer.
It's definitely an extra bummer on top of the whole bummer
Holy
part about the whole
fuck.
thing.
Whoa.
Holy fuck.
Extra organ bummer.
So all those questions I just asked, the answers to these questions are extremely distressing. China uses incarcerated prisoners of conscience as an organ donor pool to provide compatible transplants for patients.
Guys,
Dude,
this
this
has to be
This is probably a big thing with the Uyghurs.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, totally. Yeah.
this has to be one of the most fucked up things I've ever heard of.
These prisoners or
yeah.
donors are executed and their organs harvested against their will and used in a prolific and profitable transplant industry. As transplant nephrologists and medical professionals, we aim to spread awareness about organ trafficking, particularly forced organ harvesting, to colleagues, institutions, patients, and the public. We are involved with organizations like Doctors Against Forced Organ Harvesting, an international coalition to end transplant abuse in China, which have done considerable work in this area for over a decade. China currently has the second largest transplant program in the world. Transplant operations in China increased rapidly in the early 2000s without a corresponding rise in voluntary organ donors, which led to questions about the sources of the organs.
You guys want to do some? Should we do some quick investigative journalism things here, where we search to see if we can find advertisements for organs?
Oh, geez, that would make me feel really
Dude,
weird.
you're
Yeah,
going to have to download Tor.
Yeah.
On the dark web.
During this period of rapid transplant growth, practitioners of the Buddhist Qigong discipline known as Falun Gong were being detained, prosecuted, and killed in large numbers by the Chinese government. Similarly, China in 2017 began a campaign of mass detention, surveillance, sterilization, and forced labor against the Uyghur ethnic group of Xinjiang.
Are Uyghurs Muslims?
It's a good question.
Are they like a Muslim sect?
I feel like maybe it is. I feel like I've heard that. It is a Turkish a Turkic ethnic group originating from and culturally affiliated with the general region of Central and East Asia. That didn't answer the question, but
that's okay.
So concerns about forced organ harvesting have begun to surface in 2006 and 2007 by the work of two international human rights lawyers, David Kilgore and David Mattis, who were later nominated for a Nobel Prize for their work. The China Tribunal, led by human rights lawyer Sir Jeffrey Nice, was formed in 2019 to independently investigate the claims of forced organ harvesting. The tribunal examined multiple lines of evidence, including transplant numbers, medical testing of detained prisoners, recorded phone calls to transplant hospitals, as well as testimony from surgeons and prisoners.
Sounds like they did more research than I did.
The final conclusion was issued in March of 2020 and confirmed beyond reasonable doubt that China has been using executed prisoners of conscience as a source of transplant organs for many years. Despite Chinese transplant officials claiming significant transplant reform had taken place since 2015, recent evidence suggests that the barbaric practice of forced organ harvesting has continued. The American Journal of Transplantation, the world's leading transplant journal, published a paper in April that found that brain death had not been declared in many organ retrievals in China.
Wow.
And that retrieval of donors' vital organs was the actual cause of death. In other words, these prisoners were being executed by removal of their organs for the procedure of the transplant.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
That sounds like some like Arkham Asylum.
It's wild.
Shit.
Wild,
dude,
wild.
Arkham Asylum, dude, that was a great Batman game. So Uyghurs are an ethnic group who are predominantly Muslim,
I guess
similar to like how like Dagestanis
Yeah.
are like from or like live in Russia but are predominantly
Yeah.
Muslim.
The little piece about raising awareness here. Unfortunately, the use of unethical medical practices against marginalized groups is not new. So, we've got the Nazis conducting horrific experiments on Jewish victims in concentration camps. Soviet psychiatrists created a term known as sluggish schizophrenia to label political dissidents, depriving them of civic rights, employment, and credibility. And American researchers studied the effects of untreated syphilis in African Americans in the Tuskegee
that's what I was gonna say.
study. China has been executing prisoners of conscience and using their organs for transplantation for decades. Transplant physicians, medical professionals, and the global community must raise awareness and pressure governments, institutions, and hospitals to
So this
take
is
action.
legitimately like still happening.
It's happening today, yeah.
Holy
Isn't it
fuck.
crazy that there are places out there and countries like where if that's happening here, it's happening at like a very sub-secret level. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where administrators and people like that would have no idea, or would
Claim to
probably
have no
or would
idea.
probably have no idea.
Yeah.
Whereas there are places where like everybody would be like, "Yep,
We do that here.
we do."
Yeah,
yeah.
That's our thing.
yeah.
That's our thing.
yeah.
Not everybody's good at nobody's good at everything. Everybody's good at something.
Everybody does something.
My thing's sound effects.
Here's a
Yeah, my
tier.
thing's illegal harvesting of organs.
Wow.
Hey man, comedy doesn't sleep.
Well, let's move on to this week's edition of What the Hell. This was I wanted to bring this up last week. This is this shit. Okay,
Do you got any lighthearted stuff?
this
for
is
it?
pretty like this. I mean, this is sad, but also wildly fascinating and kind of cool.
Okay.
And this is not fake.
Okay.
What we're about to watch looks like it's made up. It's not.
Okay, cool.
A woman competing in triathlon suffers a freak illness and discovers that she can only now walk in high heels. Okay.
Come on,
Okay.
get the fuck
I
outta
swear
here.
to God, this is fascinating. So she was a dancer who was left requiring a wheelchair after due to a rare neurological disorder, has since gone on to discover she can only walk normally when wearing high heels.
Wait. Is
So
this
she-
like one of those things where like, this person has like a neurological condition, they wake up from like a induced coma and they speak a different like in a different language or accent?
No, it's quite different. So Yasmin Gibb had not long taken part in her first ever sprint triathlon in May when she suddenly began to experience severe pains in her stomach and had to be rushed to the hospital, where she was told she had a kidney infection and sent home with antibiotics. But just days later, her legs started to give way beneath her, and she struggled to walk. After undergoing tests, she was diagnosed with functional neurological disorder, which affects the functioning of the nervous system. The condition means Yasmin needs to use a wheelchair to get around while she faces a 6-month wait for treatment, but she has somewhat bizarrely discovered that she can walk normally if she wears high-heeled shoes. Here is a video of Yasmin talking about this on her TikTok.
Hey, so I'm off to a wedding today. I'm very excited because it's my first time doing anything in like almost a month. I've been kind of stuck in the house or stuck in the hospital for the last week. I thought I would just show you how mental this illness is and how much your body plays tricks on you. So I have a wheelchair for the day, thankfully, thanks to some family friends. If not, I would have had to pay £20 a week for a wheelchair, even though I need it at the moment, which is just mad. Again, I'm so sad for all the people out there who are in a similar position who maybe don't have family friends that can borrow them a wheelchair or can't afford that £20 a week. But yeah, I'm in a wheelchair today. I'm feeling all right today. I got a good sleep. My legs are still very shaky, but I thought I would try on my heels to see how I got on with them, just, you know, in case I need to get out the chair or, you know, I want to stand for pictures or anything. So I'm going to show you me walking just now.
No, her walking regularly is like,
and then I'm going to show you what
is like
heels are. I'm
sobering.
so
It's like,
confused.
oh my God. So here's her walking normally. She's got this
dude.
like,
Her legs are shaking.
yeah,
like
just
crazy.
shaking like crazy. Yeah, exactly. Her whole legs, her hips.
Whoa.
It's
That's
like,
a
it looks like
violent
it looks like someone's about to pass out. That kind of thing,
Yeah.
you know?
It looks like she's in like a paint mixer.
yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay, now watch this. Here's her in heels.
Whoa. This looks made
For
up.
some strange reason, when I walk in these crazily high heels, I can walk fine. Like, my back is agony, but there's no shaking. I'm
Wow.
steady.
My back is
So weird.
Such a cute accent.
I know. I fucking love it. So she's from Glasgow. And she said everything had come crashing down at once, which is quite scary. I did my first triathlon at the end of May. It was something I've been waiting to do for a while. I've been a dancer my whole life. I was an Irish dancer for about 20 years. An Irish dancer in Scotland? That is true. Jesus
shit.
Christ. And I work as a food and beverages manager at a 320-bedroom hotel. When I heard the diagnosis, I was expecting I'd be stuck in a chair for life, and that was me. I was freaking out. I was super surprised when the heels made it easier to walk. It was probably because I was concentrating on the heels or because I was a dancer and used to be standing on my toes for so long. I don't usually wear heels. I'm a trainers and Doc Martens girl through and through, but I think I'll be wearing them more often now. Despite her diagnosis and the pain she has to live with, Yasmin says she is determined to try a half Ironman next year.
In heels?
I mean,
Well, you know the
might
next,
have to.
You know, the
unless-
next experiment would be. It would just go, how much heel do I need?
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Because
Like, she was
obviously
wearing,
something's
like, she was-
happening with the lift of her heels,
Yeah,
or maybe the angle of her ankle is probably more likely.
or
the
it
case.
or it could be the like, because you know when have you ever seen the study about like the compression on your back when you're standing in heels? There's a thing about how the heel shoots. There's like the amount of weight that is displaced within just the stiletto is like some ungodly number of
Right.
pounds.
Yeah, right.
And so
because it's on such a small area.
yes, and so you know, something about her heel with that like weight displaced in one area, like kind of something about energetically like going up into her spine,
Wow.
like causes some sort of like compression or stabilization of like a muscle that allows her to like stay upright.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I went, oh, it must be something.
Interesting.
Man, honestly, like I'm more of like a function over fashion type of guy myself, and like I still think that you can be fashionable being functional.
Well, that's why you
but-
wear so much Lululemon.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't understand heels. Like
Dude, they
hey,
fuck your
listen,
back.
If you like them, cool, that's sweet.
Yeah.
But like, if you feel like pressure to wear them in any sort of way, I think it's crazy because like, one, I'm a shorter guy, and so I don't want girls wearing heels because then you make me feel like a beta.
But that's why
Right.
you gotta start. That's why you gotta start wearing.
You gotta
heels.
start wearing heels.
So now I want to start wearing heels, and it just So
How about
that's
Brian
why-
just tried to like he just tried to like really nicely go, if you feel pressure, you don't have to. But and you know, because it affects me, and it's really about me, and I feel emasculated when you're taller than me.
That's my relationship with.
How do you
Maddie.
feel
See,
emasculated with a woman wearing heels, but you don't feel emasculated when you go to the gym with Maddie?
This is true.
Yeah, she's fit.
Dude,
She's fit,
she
and
looks like
she
she
fucking-
flips cars for a living.
and she
She
eats
does, yeah.
a lot of vegetables.
yeah, yeah.
She
She's
loves
always
vegetables.
chopping
Guys,
vegetables.
I've never
How does that
met
work?
anybody in my life that loves vegetables more than Maddie.
Fuck. Well,
And
Kyla.
she's not even, dude.
I mean,
no,
Kyla
dude,
loves her veggies.
Dude, no, dude. you know,
Kyla loves her
doesn't hold.
soy.
Kyle
Kyla
loves,
loves
Kyle loves her tempeh.
She doesn't hold a
Her
fucking
tempeh and cocaine.
She doesn't hold a candle to Maddie.
Kyla just likes like anything that's like vegan cheese or like vegan
Dude,
burgers.
I've never-
Daya.
I've
She's just on a steady diet of Daya.
diet. She likes diet cocaine.
I've never been in your apartment with Maddie present where
There's-
she's not chopping a vegetable.
Dude, there's always 1,000 radishes just like sliced.
She's always feeding it to me too.
Yeah.
She's always feeding me veggies.
Yeah. Well, folks, get your tickets. Vancouver, September 21st. We're coming to the Biltmore Cabaret. Tickets are $20. You can find the link in the show notes here, or go over to our Instagram, or go check out the Biltmore Cabaret's website. We cannot wait to come out to Vancouver. It's going to be our first show in a couple of years, and
Truck, yeah.
probably, to be honest with you, our last show in Vancouver with
Ever.
Maya was one of the best shows we ever had.
It was really fun.
It was at the
was,
Biltmore.
Billboard's
An
great.
absolute fucking rager of a time. We cannot wait to come back out. So the tickets are on sale right now.
Did I ever tell you guys about the history of the Biltmore?
Shut the fuck up, Brian. Yo, I haven't been on a plane in 2 years,
Whoa, that's crazy.
and that will be my first flight.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled.
I had a flight last week and it got canceled.
yeah.
I didn't go on my trip.
Tay, do you want to carry us
End the
home here,
show.
brother?
If you have any idea why that woman can walk with heels on, fucking let us know, because we don't have a sweet clue. letters@sickboypodcast.com if you want to send us some mail about, we get really nice, sweet emails all the time from people who either love the show or, maybe,
frustrated by it.
or they're frustrated or they're really frustrated by it, but in like a really cute way. Letters@sickboypodcast.com. Or if you want to be a guest on the show, sickboypodcast.com/contact.
And thanks, as always, to the folks that make this show happen. A huge thank you to Rich O'Coin, who does the theme music. And we're going to go to a show in a couple weeks, you guys. That's
Yeah.
going to be really fun.
You know what I'm going to with Rich tomorrow?
what are you doing?
Monster trucks.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice, that's
and
fun.
that's actually today as of this recording.
That's right.
The
release
monster
date,
trucks?
so-
Yep.
Are we
Yeah.
doing ticket shoutouts for the monster trucks?
No, we shouldn't. We
No.
shouldn't.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
No.
we don't need to do
You
that.
missed it. It was fun. But don't miss the fucking live show at the Biltmore Cabaret. It's
No,
going to be way
definitely
more
don't.
exciting than the
And
monster
hey, guess
trucks.
what? West Coasties, we might have a couple other secrets up our sleeve, so stay tuned.
Woo! That is it for this week.
I'm Brian.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Jeremy, and this is Sick Boy.